the Walt Disney World Resort. And now, here's your host, a man who's sick and tired of being confused with Calvin Klein, your host, Mr. Robert Klein.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Stand-Up, Sit-Down Comedy. Welcome to Stand-Up, Sit-Down. You know, we are a strange breed, comedians. And people that can hold an audience in one. The evangelists are like that, you know. And my favorite are the fraudulent ones, you know, the ones that are... Jimmy Swaggart, who last year tested positive for prostitutes again. Remember that one? One more time, and then he gets suspended 3 sermons by the commissioner. I mean, how many chances do they give this guy? When they caught the other clown, Baker, you know, who got 40 years in prison, then they reduced it to 39 or something, and he was walking with those handcuffs on his feet, and people said, oh, I feel so sorry for him. I wanted to trip him. You know what he did? He collected money on the false pretenses. His wife split immediately, Tammy Faye, the faithful wife, who ran off with a mascara wholesaler that she met, you know. So, you know, I'm looking at this woman on Ted Koppel for 3 years, and I hate the both of them, what they do. And I'm looking, but she reminds me of someone I like. I couldn't understand it. I'm looking at her, I hate her, but she reminds me, I'm looking. Ernest Borgnine. You take a good look at her. She looks like Ernest Borgnine, you know, with those heavy lashes. And Oral Roberts is a pip. A couple of years ago, he needed money for his medical school, which we really needed, you know, and he made God into a blackmailer. Remember that? He went, he's going to take me. If I don't get that $8 million, he's going to take me. And I was thinking, you know, he's going to take me. Take him! Take him! You know. And maybe, you know, it's a wonderful deal. I don't give him $8 million, and he gets taken. I love the combo, you know. I don't know. He heard the Lord's Prayer. Maybe because he's got ears like I've never seen on a live human being. You know? My feeling is when you're named Oral, you're skating on thin ice to begin with. Now, our guest tonight was nominated for the American Comedy Award as Best Stand-Up. He's had a regular role on Married with Children. He has guest starred on Roseanne, among other things. He's in the process of writing a funny book about relationships, one of his specialties, based on his observations. He's a wonderful comedian. Will you welcome Rich Scheidner? Rich! Robert Klein! Art Carney! June Taylor! Sammy Spear! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, it's good to be down here. I see all this whole place is great. I mean, I love coming down here. The whole Disneyland, Disney World. I'm getting older, so I know I appreciate these things. I'm definitely getting older, I know that. Just watching sports on television is different for me now. See, guys my age, you know, we can't watch sports on television and fantasize about being the players anymore. We have to give up that one, you know. Guys my age watch sports on television. We fantasize about being a team owners now. Yeah. I should have traded him last year when he had some value. There's things I can't do now anymore. I couldn't, you know. I just turned 40, so there's all the things different. I mean, I used to hitchhike all over. I couldn't hitchhike now. If my car broke down, I have to walk to wherever I had to go. Because you know yourself, you're driving down the road and you see a 17-year-old guy hitchhiking, you may pick him up. You see a 40-year-old man standing on the side of the road, you're thinking to yourself, serial killer. Nice try, pal. Doesn't matter. A lot of things, you know, it's just things have changed in my life. I've changed a lot of things. I quit drinking and doing drugs about 8 years ago, and that's just my lifestyle. That's just what it is. But I'm just telling you, it's amazing to me because the Just Say No program is amazing. They're not really hitting the kids, I think, in the messages where they say, well, drugs will make you stupid. Because a 14, 15-year-old kid's going, that's what I'm going for. So that's enticing to him. I mean, they're going to make the kids stop doing drugs, get them where they live. I mean, you want to scare a 15-year-old boy off of doing marijuana, just be factual about it, you know. Smoking marijuana will shrink your testicles. Oh, you're too kind. I know sympathy applause when I hear it. Look, I'm married, I got a wife, I got a daughter. I don't even need to do drugs to get the feeling of doing drugs anymore. I've got responsibilities.
Like I said, I'm married, I got a house with a mortgage and a daughter. If I ever want to get the feeling of doing cocaine again, all I got to do is let the bills pile up for a couple of weeks. Then open them all in one setting, you know. I need money! I can't go to sleep! My heart!
Is it physically or mentally tougher to do it the older you get?
Well, I think the audiences pretty much in nightclubs stay the same age. And the comics, we keep getting older. So it's like a difference between me, like, I don't want to talk about things. Now, when I first got into doing it, I was up there talking about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Well, everybody in the audience is 20-some years old. That's what they're... Now, I'm not there. I don't talk about that now. I'm talking about, I got a mortgage, I got a child. I want to talk about being in a relationship with one woman. And these 20-year-olds are going, I just want to see a bare breast before I die. You know, I mean, that's all I'm, you know, what's he talking about?
More of the stand-up, sit-down comedy from Pleasure Island at the Walt Disney World Resort, and we return.
Anything can happen on a Pleasure Island night. An entire island of nighttime entertainment. Pleasure Island at the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida.
Welcome back to a half hour of E! Stand-up, sit-down comedy. Before we rejoin his stand-up routine, here's another sit-down moment with Rich Scheidler.
Here you are, a kid in rural New Jersey, right? Actually, you lived in farm country, right? How do you begin to be funny, and with whom?
My buddies, all of the guys I grew up with, were at least as funny as I am. I mean, I still joke around and go, the four guys that I was like the closest with, our gang that ran around, they were all like, the guys were the better athletes, and I hung around with the athletes. So I was kind of like the funniest guy of the athletes. But they were all really funny. They just...
Any of them comedians?
No. I was the only one desperate enough, I had to get that attention from going to stage,
Do you think it is a sort of desperation?
Well, yeah, I've tried other ways of making a living, Robert. I've narrowed down the options.
Money's it, boy. Money's a big stress thing. Absolutely. And I know I'm feeling pretty weird about it. I got a letter from the IRS a couple of months ago saying I owed them money from 1988. They said I made a mistake in my 1988 tax and I owed them money. I went, man, that money's spent. Don't have any 1988 money around. No 1989, 90, 91. Feel absolutely weird. I can't even do my own taxes. I go to an accountant once a year. I treat this guy like a voodoo witch doctor. I go in there with a little hefty trash bag full of papers. Please remove this curse from my head. A couple weeks later, a guy calls up. He's got a figure. I don't know how he does it. I don't care either. As far as I'm concerned, as soon as I leave his office, he burns my papers and throws some chicken bones on the dirt floor. Refund. Thank you very much. My idea of high finance is I play lottery. Like most people, I don't play the lottery until the lottery pool becomes outrageously large. When it's $100 million and people are parachuting in from other countries to play the lottery. Because you know what happens the rest of the time? You walk up to the lottery clerk, you go, what's the lottery pool right now? $1 million? No, that's not worth a buck. Give me a Slurpee instead, will you, man? $1 million won't make a dent in my problems, pal. I need $100 million to haul me out a hole I've dug for myself. See, I'm married. That's a whole different kind of money there. Married money. That's one of the biggest adjustments any single man or woman has to make from going to being single to becoming married is transferring your single money into married money. Because everybody knows what single money is. Single money is my money. I spend it, I save it, I do what I want with it. You get married, you find out real fast that married money is our money. And both people have to throw their contributions into a symbolic pot, and for the rest of marriage, both people just kind of circle that pot. You getting tired, baby? Getting tired? You know what happens? One of you dozes off, you wake up, hey, where's new furniture come from? Did you enjoy your nap, sweetie? Woman comes down in the morning, whose boat is sitting out on our front lawn? Let you sleep in a little bit, didn't I, darling? Money. I know things have changed, but they haven't changed, you know. It's like, I don't know, you know, I know things have changed, I just don't know what they are anymore. And I know women going for their own careers, they have their own jobs, want their own economic independence. But try to understand, women, men don't feel any less pressure to make money because you have a job. I'm not blaming women or blaming men or anything. I'm just saying, guys, most guys are raised to believe that women will judge us by how successful we are. And I think there's some basic truth there. I don't think there's too many single women who meet a man for the first time and maybe become romantically interested in him and eventually ask him that question. So tell me, what do you do for a living? I live off the women I meet. That's fascinating. I'm not blaming women, I'm just telling you, most guys believe, we grow up thinking that we have to earn affection from women by bringing them things every once in a while. That's why a guy come in the house going, look what I bought you, what did I get for that? A kiss, I want more than a kiss, right there, get something bigger than that. Much bigger. And you know this is true, just watch the commercials for any holiday period. Christmas, Hanukkah, Valentine's Day. What do the TV holiday commercials show that men should buy women? Diamonds. Diamonds. You watch those commercials, man, you get the message. Buy her a diamond or don't bother getting out of bed in the morning, pal. Just lay there and think about what a loser you are. What do the holiday commercials show that women should buy men? Sports Illustrated football review tape. Or some sort of goofy gadget like electric razor he can take in the shower with it. You know. This is great. You can take a shower and shave at the same time. Get to work earlier, make more money, buy more diamonds. Absolutely fantastic. God bless you. God bless you. Fantastic. More stress. This thing will take years off my life. I love it.
Do you hold these truths to be self-evident about women and men? You have there are a number of comedians who talk about this kind of thing, which is not unusual. Yours is very unique. Do you believe these things to be true of men and women? That women are a certain way and men are a certain way?
To a certain extent, yeah. I don't want to go too far into that because then I think becomes sort of like where people go, well, we are the way we are. We've been this way for thousands of years. We'll never change. And I don't think that's true. I think a lot of it is social stuff, you know, that I don't want my daughter growing up thinking she can't do anything. I want her to grow up thinking she can do everything.
More of E! Stand-Up sit-down comedy from Pleasure Island at the Walt Disney World Resort when we return. Welcome back to a half hour of stand-up, sit-down comedy. Before we rejoin his stand-up routine, here's another sit-down moment with Rich Scheiker.
What about the acting? So many of the people who are coming on are mixing it up, stand-up and acting and movies and things. You're ready, huh, for that?
I believe so. I mean, Rick Dukeman and I have a deal with ABC to do a pilot. And you know how it is. We're doing the pilots. There's two guys who have been buddies since they were kids. And they're grown up. And I'm married. I have a wife and a young daughter. And he's single. So, you know, there's that problem of him pulling me, my wife.
How interesting, yeah.
And that our relationship will never end, though. It will never, you know, I have friends of mine like that I don't live near, but I know there's relationships like that. We want to explore the relationship between two men.
I read this book. Uh-oh, look out, he's reading a book. I read this book called You Just Don't Understand, and the woman who wrote the book said a lot of studies have been done to show that women can be more verbal. Apparently, from what I've read in this book, in any particular day, a woman has a bigger pile of words to use than a guy does. So at the beginning of the day, when a man and woman go off their separate ways to do what they do during the day, the guy uses up all his words. At the end of the day, woman's got words left over. So that's what happens when a man and woman get back together again that evening, and she's like, so tell me what happened to you today. Work. Car. Home. Happy. Sex. Sleep. You can tell this. Watch the way men hang out together. Watch the way women hang out together. Men tend to bond physically, women tend to bond verbally. Like you hear this cliche, women shop a lot. But sometimes I don't even think it's important to shopping. I've seen my wife and her friends go out shopping on a Saturday afternoon. These women have shopped all day long, came home. None of them bought anything, but they all still had a great time. I think all they really were doing is just hanging out with each other. They just wanted to catch up with each other's lives, and shop was a good excuse to get together. If they bought something, fine. If not, no big deal. When men hang out together, we generally have to find some sort of physical activity which allows us to channel our competitive instincts with each other. Go fishing. Who caught the most fish? Play game, basketball, golf. Who won the game? Men can't shop together. We're too competitive. It'd be a financial disaster. Guys would come home completely frustrated. Didn't you have a good time shopping with Ed and Larry? Ed bought a fishing pole. Larry bought a boat, so I had to buy the marina. Well, go ahead and laugh, but you got to quit your job and run a bait shop now. I think this even shows up in the way we shop, because I know my wife enjoys bargains more than I do. I've actually seen my wife and her friends high-five over sale things. You got that blouse for 80% off, Barbara? I don't think it's being stupid or anything. I just think it shows off a skill that as women they value, negotiation. Woman who got a sale item negotiated well to get that bargain. See, men like to show off power whenever possible, even when it comes to shopping. You see this boat right here? Paid 10 times what it's worth. That's right, you get what you pay for, buddy. You get what you pay for. This is just good information to have, man. I mean, if we understand that women can be more verbal, there are certain things that will happen in a relationship we can prepare for. Like, you know, after you and a woman have both said, I love you to each other, eventually she may ask you, why do you love me? And my wife and I were dating, she asked me that question, I drew blanks, I got no extra credit points that night. But if any of you men are in this situation right now, do yourself a favor, take 5 minutes out of your day, write down a list as to why you love her. So if she asks you the question, you can beat her. Why do you love me? I'll tell you exactly why I love you. Because you're the most beautiful woman I've met in my life. Your body fits my body perfectly. I love you because you're intelligent. We can talk about anything. I love you because your nutritional habits have been an inspiration for me. I mean, you men know it would never work in real life. Most women would smell that memorized speech coming a mile away. She'd knock you off track so fast. Well, explain to me exactly why you find me intelligent. You'd be forced to retreat in a commercial land. Why ask why? You got the right one, baby. Try to understand, women, it's not like we men don't care. We're just not as verbal. Men aren't as likely to ask, do you love me as much as I love you? Guys are more likely to look for physical evidence as proof as to how we're progressing in a relationship. Like, you men know it's a good sign when she starts leaving her personal belongings back at your place. You know what I'm talking about. First time she left for the day, but you know it's like a pair of her earrings sitting there. You see her earrings, you think to yourself, hey, she forgot her earrings. She got to come back and get them. And I'll be here when she does. I'm doing all right. Give myself a high five. I mean, you men know it is just one indicator. You can't judge the depth of her love for you based upon her leaving like a pair of earrings back at your place, especially if it's early in a relationship. For all you know, she could be driving away going, forgot my earrings. Oh, $2. Forget them. I'm surprised we men and women get along as well as we do, because to me it's like sometimes we speak a different language. I'm talking to men and women. You ever have that happen in a relationship where you say something to the other person, you really intend to be helpful, considerate, but something must get lost in translation because the other person gets angry or frustrated? Wouldn't it be great if there was a male-female dictionary? It'd be great for men and women. This way, as soon as you get a thought before you open your mouth, you can check out the translation. Wait a minute, sweetie, wait a minute. Before you go out the door, I want to say something to you. Hold it right there, just a second, just a second. Just mark these pages. All right, I think this is great. You're going to visit your parents on the anniversary this weekend, and I appreciate you letting me stay home to catch up on my back work. It's your sensitivity to my needs which cause me to love you more and more every day. I'm going to miss you every second you're gone. Drive safely.
You clearly are such a woman lover. Your wife is very fortunate to have you. Everything you say, you slightly denigrate the male side, probably justifiably. Am I right?
Yeah, well, why make fun of who you are, make fun of your own. Take the pie in the face. That's the kind of comment.
But I think you believe it, too. I think you see women as pretty remarkable.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My mom was an amazing woman. She still is.
And especially after you've witnessed the birth of your child.
Oh, that was... Now I have a daughter, which is, if that doesn't bring the human in you, right out there, I mean, the whole... She just amazes me every day.
More of E's stand-up, sit-down comedy from Pleasure Island at the Walt Disney World Resort when we return. Welcome back to a half hour of E! Stand-up, sit-down comedy. Before we rejoin his stand-up routine, here's another sit-down moment with Rich Scheidler. You're a veteran. You've been doing this well over 12 years, I think, right?
About 14
years. How does this stuff come to you? Do you sit down and write down an idea? Do you write it out word for word? Does it happen on stage? What's your modus operandi?
The idea most of the time will happen when I'm writing. The concepts happen when I'm writing, then the punchline comes out on stage. I think for some reason, whatever it is, the ego, whatever, doesn't want to be embarrassed too many times, so it forces the subconscious to come up with a joke. I don't know if that's technically correct or anything, but for some reason, I get on stage and I do the concept a couple of times, the joke will come out, if it's there, if it's really there.
How do you know it's there?
People laugh.
What else I want to talk about? I know what else I want to talk about. My wife and I have a daughter, and we may have another child. I say may. We don't know yet because at this point my wife is late. I don't know if any of you guys ever heard that before, but I'm late. I'm late. The only thing you can say as a guy is, well, you're always late. No, you nitwit, I'm late. We're always late. This will be the second time we didn't really plan anything. I mean, our daughter's a blessing. I love her the most, but we didn't plan for her. We got married June 4th, 1989. My wife got pregnant June 10th, 1989. That's our story, and we're sticking to it, all right? She's a total blessing. I couldn't imagine being without her. She's a total blessing. We didn't plan for her. My wife was using birth control, got pregnant anyway. Of course, as soon as she told me, I started strutting around like, oh, yeah, take more than a diaphragm, stop my boys. You better double up next time, babe. Double up. That's all I can tell you. There is so much. I mean, our daughter's it's great. I mean, I didn't know, though. I mean, I honestly did not know what was involved in this. I don't think anybody could possibly know. I remember one time my daughter was just like a couple months old, and a friend of mine was over, and he was holding my daughter. He's going, you know, Rich, one day my wife and I are going to have a baby. What we want to do first, though, is get a puppy. If we do okay with the responsibility of raising a puppy, then we'll move up and get a baby. I said, man, there's a bigger jump between puppy and baby you can think about. I mean, if that's your attitude, maybe you'll get like a monkey and a dolphin in between there, you know. And I thank you very much, folks.
Thanks for joining us here at Pleasure Island at the Walt Disney World Resort. See you next time on Stand-Up, Sit-Down Comedy.
Accommodations for cast and crew of Stand-Up, Sit-Down Comedy provided by Disney's Yacht and Beach Club Resorts, located near Epcot at the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida.